Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. Live stream coming up tonight, the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club, and on Wednesday, as this is our AI month, Good Morning Portugal's AI month, all of June, looking at the impact AI will have on the world and us specifically as a community. Let's say, you know, the 50 plus foreigner community here in Portugal. A lot of you, I guess, are thinking, well, it won't affect us at all. Many of us are retired. It doesn't matter. I think you'll find news to the contrary if you get closer to us at the Portugal Club, where we've got an ongoing thread serving suggestions, special guests, and your questions that will be answered by as close to experts, human experts, probably, as well as actually for every human expert answer I get, I will try an AI one as well. That's what we should do for AI Awareness Month. We also have a podcast, we have a Substack, and we have very special guests, MBEs no less. Let's give her a nice big round of applause and bring onto the screen to James, everybody.
Olá, good morning.
Olá, bom dia, tudo bem? How are you, Tig?
Tudo bem, obrigada. E tu?
Excelente, excelente. Muito bem. 5 estrelas, obrigado. To start the week and this boa semana of ours. I think the weather has changed well and truly. We are into proper summer here in Portugal. Is that how it's occurring to you down in the south of Portugal?
Absolutely. It was that cut-off again, wasn't it? You know, it's sort of, I still maintain Portugal only has 2 seasons, winter and summer. Yeah. 1 minute you're in jeans and the next minute you're in shorts.
It was incredible. Someone flicked a switch, didn't they? And here we are.
Absolutely. It's nice.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you're here with us as ever. This is June's post-Brexit Brit update. We're going to talk a little bit about IMA because that's what people need to do. There are a lot of people. Oh, excuse me. I think it's a change in the weather. It might have affected my.
In the weather, absolutely.
I've been sucking on a Dr. Bayard this morning because there are some very good throat lozenges in this country, but it hasn't done the trick just yet. Forgive me. Excuse me. Just about to say, people love to find out what's going on at IMA. And you have a special relationship with them, don't you?
Oh, I do. It's loving and caring and nurturing.
Yes, as well as other things, yes. Obviously. And you're hearing about the experience of many others. So what's going on? How's it looking at the front line of migration here in this country for you, from your particular point of view?
It's just chaos.
Still.
It's still chaos, and I don't see that ending at any particular point in the future.
Seriously?
No, they're just understaffed. You can't. I mean, I think they work very hard, and I think they can within, the resources that they've got. But if you need 100 men, women, whatever, to do a job, and you've only got 2, it's just never going to work, is it?
No, quite. Absolutely. Yeah, so the first thing I guess we witnessed was the change from CEF to IMA, just in case anybody wasn't aware of that. Where have you been if you weren't? And yeah, staff changes, staff training, different agendas, probably 3 different governments they've had to deal with as well, since they started, at least 2, possibly 3. And now the airport checks, new levels of checking into the country through the border service as well. So migration applications piling up, that happening, the airport thing, them changing, retraining, new bodies coming together to create IMA. As you say, that was never going to be easy, and we're still facing chaos, right?
Absolutely. I mean, going back to the airports, I mean, Faro has actually got a notice that says EU citizens and residents. So when you fly back in, you can go through that, but it's still a manual border check. It's not an e-gate.
Okay. That's on its way, though, isn't it?
Okay. Take it back a step from that, right? I know it's never.
This is what we have to do. This is what we always have to do. This, don't we? Sort of take a couple of steps back.
I know. It's a good old Keir Starmer went on telly, didn't he? And he went, "We can all use e-gates." No, you can't.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went on and said, I'm negotiated with the EU, and Brits are going to be able to use the e-gates. No, they can't.
Oh,
because the reality of it is. And I think we've had this for, I don't know what, last 15 years with UK governors. They just sort of say what they want. And, anyway, Because, of course, what has got to happen now, because we're not in the EU anymore, each country, member state, has to be negotiated with as to whether UK nationals can now use the e-gates along with EU citizens.
Right.
So
Okay.
we've got a long way to go. So I can never remember how many EU member states, but what, 27, 28 countries in the Schengen area? Yeah.
Yes, that's
So
going to take a little while, isn't it? Because I mean, it's not the only thing he's got to deal with at the moment, is it?
no, but also it's not going to be down to him. It's down to the embassies. So
Yes.
each embassy in each member state has got to negotiate that we can use the e-gates.
Okay, so first update point. Those of you Brits who are glad to hear Mr. Starmer, your Prime Minister, nearly calling him the President then, he has a presidential sort of air about him, doesn't he? But the Prime Minister saying you can breeze in using the e-gates, not so in Portugal, probably not so in many other places as well. So don't expect that. You will still be a third country citizen as you make your way in. What are you hearing anecdotally with queues at Faro at the moment?
Horrific.
Oh dear, right, okay.
People coming in. I actually saw Anna Soubry put on Twitter the other day, and because she's regularly in Portugal, and she posted, and the queues are just terrific. I mean, she was stood in this queue. I think she was there for over 2 hours, and people are telling me how bad it is at Faro Airport. That to actually get in the country, you're looking at between 2 and 4 hours to get through passport control.
Wow. Okay. Not good.
Well, the thing is, for me, as well, is one of the issues is not only should that not happen, but again, you're going straight back to funding, aren't you? And staffing, and
yes,
it's always the same thing as far as immigration is concerned. But what happens if there's a panic? There's going to be a crush. It's dangerous.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it? When you get used to living in a sort of chaotic way as the normal, the next step is, as you say, is possible danger, isn't it? And it doesn't. So to you, it doesn't look like it's being pulled back into some sort of safe and secure normality anytime soon.
No. I mean, I just saw something the other day that they were actually going to escalate, quicker, get more staff at Faro.
Yeah.
I think possibly negotiations have been going on behind the scene.
Okay.
Even so, it's dangerous, Carl. It's dangerous.
No, I agree with you. And we do get used to things, don't we? It's a bit like when we had the big power cut. Do you remember that? Only about 5 weeks ago, wasn't it? Anyway, it seems like a very dim and distant memory to me. We've moved on. Lots of things have happened in the world, but you realise, don't you, how sort of used you are to having things in place, and when they disappear, you're in a chaotic situation potentially. And that is definitely a concern, isn't it? At all the I think Portuguese airports, certainly Faro, certainly Lisbon. I think Porto does seem to rank a little bit better in its customer service.
I mean, at Lisbon, there's an automated gate that you can go through as UK nationals, but it's not an e-gate. At Faro, you can do, as I say, you can go through when you come in under the EU nationals and EU citizens and residents, but it's still a manual gate. You then have to show your passport. But it's just, I mean, it's that time of year as well, isn't it?
And interestingly, whilst you get the political messaging that the economy is very important and growth is very important, these are the things that would help towards growth, wouldn't they? Like making sure, migration is working smoothly, that people can get into the system, pay their social security, pay their taxes. These are all good and useful things to an economy, as is having a smooth and free-flowing airport as well, right? Because otherwise, Portugal will get a bad reputation. People won't want to come here if they're going to spend 2 or 3 hours at the airport on arrival.
It's already started.
Oh, really? You're sensing a bit of a backlash?
Oh, people are very, very disgruntled. Very disgruntled about the length of wait. They've just come off a long flight. You can imagine, if you've just done a long haul, you've just done 8-9 hours on a plane, and then you have to stand in a queue for 4 hours.
Which you can do at Faro now, can't you? There is a transatlantic flight now into Faro, isn't there?
Yes, and it's just not funny. And even then, even if it's not transatlantic, but you've still done long haul, say you come in from Schiphol,
Yeah.
You go on Schiphol, or you've come from Lisbon and you're flying then into Faro. You know, I mean, I did it from Australia. I mean, I've been traveling 26 hours and then to be faced with a 4-hour queue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the people are getting very disgruntled, very disgruntled. I've had, quite
That's
a few.
shame. We don't want to be hearing that. And this is bad for our economy.
Yeah.
Here in Portugal.
When you think, you know, tourism, it's the main industry, and then and people are getting and I have heard I'm not coming here again. I'm not going through this again. Yeah.
Well, hopefully that's made up for with the experience people have once they've got into town and enjoyed their holiday, and it's just was said in anger, and that they can forget that, put it behind them, and that things can improve. Any other specifics for post-Brexit Brits? So they'll still be faced with an IMA queue for anything they want to do. Are there any issues that have been coming up that you've noticed in the last month?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things with IMA that are sort of like staple, you know, diet things with them. But one of the things is as well is that what IMA is saying, I mean, because quite often what we've had is the CTT say they've attempted to deliver the cards, residence permits, whatever, and they haven't. They've just sent them straight back to IMA. Okay. Yes. IMA are now saying that you can go and collect your cards as long as you've had an email from them saying, we've got your card. Well, I am yet to hear of one person that's ever had an email.
Is that right? Oh dear. Right. So the rhetoric, the theory is one thing, and people are finding out something very different in reality.
And again, it's the same thing with IMA, and it's again like the phone and the email. You phone, if you manage to get an answer, which is so rare, they'll say email. If you email, they'll say phone.
Yes.
And it's the constant circle with IMA of overworked people that are trying to back you off. And another one that is happening all the time is people obviously are actually emailing IMA, getting a reply back, a standard pro forma email that's been copied and pasted that has no relevance to their query whatsoever. But of course, the staff member hasn't got a clue what to do with it and or is too busy. So they've just sent out this pro forma to get rid.
Wow. Just to move things along.
And to say that's dealt with. Well, of course it isn't, because then the person has to start again and then they get more. But again, if you know, you haven't got proper training for people to be able to deal with queries, and you haven't got enough staff. So this is what is happening. Yeah. Yep.
I have to say the recommendation you gave last time, or maybe before that, the Brexit line is very, very good, as in what used to be the Brexit line, but is now a way for Brits to call and get help. Is very, very good. I have good personal experience of that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I've heard nothing but good from people that have used it, but it is only if you have got pre-Brexit issues.
Oh yeah. You can't be jumping the queue from some other sort of issue you've got. But they are, I would say, gold standard. They're best practice. So if IMA are listening, your colleagues, your people in that helpline for people with pre and post Brexit issues are excellent. I've had nothing but good interactions with them. Very helpful, very authoritative, and very reassuring as well. And very happy to have a conversation in English, which is very reassuring when you're dealing with things of a sort of technical and difficult and personal nature. So shout out 5 stars to them, and we want to see more like that across IMA. Anything else for post Brexit Brits?
Just one thing with IMA and the IRN office. Okay, there's been lots of confusion as to who gets their residency documents renewed, applied, whatever. And I've managed to actually nail down what the system is, or lack thereof. IMA apparently now, what they do is once a month, at the end of the month, forward on to the IRN office. They've basically just battered it out to them that they then send them a list of all the people that need appointments. IRN then send out emails to those people saying, book an appointment.
Right, okay.
That's why people are getting emails from the IRN office, getting confused that they need to go to the IRN office, which they don't always need to, but that's where I've now worked out what the confusion is, and that's what it is.
Okay. All right. So for clarification, this sounds like a good moment to mention your new initiative. And how to help people in it more personally and specifically. This is the new company. There you go. TJP. I'm already hearing a radio ad with TJP sung. And this is Tig James MBE and Partners. And we'll talk more about that MBE in just a moment. Those are the contact details. If you do want to consult, this is a professional service, of course. And if you do want to consult with Tig James MBE and Partners and get some help as an immigrant in Portugal, Brits only, though, am I right? Or is are you dealing with other sorts of inquiries now, Tig?
Every immigrant.
Okay.
Any nationality, because of course it's all the same. All the processes in Portugal.
Fair enough. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so there you go. There are the details. tjpartnership@gmx.com and the phone number 920-239-546. Or if you get in touch with me, I can definitely make sure you'll be put in touch with Tig as well. That's great. So how's that going?
It's going very well, actually. It is going well. It's the usual thing, isn't it? It's ebbs and flows, but we haven't stopped yet. That's for certain. And we keep getting queries on anything from attempt kidnaps to death to everything and anything. Yeah.
Wow, my goodness. So I guess a lot of things you weren't expecting as well. With
actually, no, because of course I've done it for 9 years.
True. And that's why you were put forward and have, not received yet, your MBE, which we'll talk about. That's and finally, because I want to find out how you're accessorizing for the big day. Just one sort of a Britty thing here. I had a bank card. This is probably something you hear a lot, Tig. If you've got a British bank account, and there's a whole backstory to that, isn't there, about how British banks don't want you anymore if you're a foreigner living in another country. Barclays. However, I've got to say, when I do speak to people at Barclays, they're very helpful. I've had some really great people on the phone. But I had a card that was in my mailing address in London, and I needed it here. So I was thinking, do I fly back to get it? Because, of course, if you can't do anything without your card, you need your card. And then when you've got your card, you can't use the app if you haven't got a British phone number anymore. But anyway, that's another matter. You do have online banking help, and it's very good with Barclays, even if their corporate policies are somewhat dubious. And I needed this card. And I was thinking, how do I get this card to me? Do I fly back and get it? Do I ask my family member to use the PIN Sentry thing while I attempt a remote online banking operation like a scene from Mission Impossible? No. I had this sudden inspiration. I'll get it sent over by courier, because I'm not going to risk the post office both sides of the water. I'm not going to go with CTT and the British Royal Mail, who I used to work for a long time ago. I know I'll get DHL or UPS. Turns out a mate of mine put the card in the post via UPS, and it was very good, Tig, I've got to say. So if anybody's got a document, and very cheap, I think it was like £17 or something to put like letters and things of that nature and size into a packet and send them over. The only thing, though, and this I think you'll be familiar with, is when it got to, you look at your tracking number, don't you? So, okay, it's been picked up in Stanford La Hope or something from the address. It's now ready for dispatch across the water. Oh dear, it's got to customs in Portugal. And that's the point where I thought, oh no, we've come so close. It's going to be in customs now for 12 years or something. But no.
Maybe, yes.
I did. I think it was sent on maybe a Thursday from the UK, and then it was expected to arrive on the next Tuesday or Monday. At one point it said it's going to arrive end of day Monday. No, it's going to be Tuesday because it's stuck. It's out of our hands. It's inside Portuguese customs. It did come on Thursday. But the same thing happened. A lot of these postal people now, they don't try and deliver, do they? They take it straight to the place where you can go and pick it up at the end of the street or whatever. And that's happening, I think, with a lot of couriers at the moment. But a recommendation there for any Brits who've got packages, letter-sized things, 17 quid in the post. It went past customs. And you've got to mark that up as letters or whatever. Don't put, gold leaf or sovereigns.
Document,
yeah, absolutely. So and I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but it worked well, and it managed to get through customs without too much.
I'll talk to you about that a bit later.
Okay, so MBEs then you're on your okay. We can do posting things back and forth. Maybe next time for our July update. The big celebration. You're going to Buckingham Palace, I guess, to have your MBE investiture. Is that the word that's used?
It's called an investiture. You learn something new every day, don't you? I had no idea till I got it. I had no idea how people even got MBEs until I got one. There you go. Because it's sort of one of these things you see on telly, isn't it? You know, oh, here's the New Year's ends list. And it's just sort of like, and I remember years and years ago thinking, now people actually get those. Now I know. But yes, my investiture at Buckingham Palace is I have to be there for about 9:30 on June the 10th, Portugal Day.
Oh, of course. How very good. How very fitting.
Very good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, everything's sorted. Friends picking me up at the airport. Thank you very much. And away we go. And I don't know who's more excited, me and my friends, actually. My friend, her husband, he's bought a suit.
Excellent. So you, as I recall, you get a bit of a cream tea in the palace garden afterwards, don't you? After you've knelt before the king.
Don't think so. I don't know,
Well,
but you're there for about 3 hours.
Are you?
So I honestly don't know the whys and wherefores until I get there. And I don't know you don't know who's doing it until the day, which I can understand because you can just imagine people. 2 weeks before, right? You're having this, but I'm not seeing them. I'm changing it. You know, so I can understand that. They would, wouldn't they?
It's true. So it could be the king, or it might be a fellow royal who dubs you. I think that's another word that comes into this, isn't it? Do you kneel or curtsy? Have you got a lot of protocol to observe?
Yes, curtsy. I'll have to curtsy.
Have you been practicing your curtsy?
Well, it's hilarious because, of course, getting an outfit, right? Okay, one of the criteria, every time I put on the few outfits I could actually find here that may even be suitable, the first thing I had to do was practice if I could actually flip in curtsy in it.
Of course, a prime consideration. And a hat? You got yourself a nice hat?
You try getting a hat in Portugal. That's been a bone of contention, I tell you. I'd love to get a hat. Can't get one.
Can't get a tit for tat? Okay, so if anybody can help with that, if there are any milliners watching, again, another word you don't hear very often, but I think that is a technical term. It's like being in a department store today, isn't it?
Somebody said, there's a milliner in London. I said, really useful.
Well, you pick up at the airport, go get a hat quick, and on the way to the palace.
I mean, I even went and apparently Corte Inglés in Lisbon still have the, I don't know, a department that does all the posh frocks and everything.
That sounds like the right one. Yeah, that sounds like the right.
And I mean, Seville, because I went to Seville for 3 days. They don't there anymore.
Okay.
I went on the website and I looked and I went through 500 hats and I don't even think one was suitable for a wedding.
Right. Okay. Well, have a great time in London at Buck House. And regards to the royals from this distant outpost here on the continent, and have a wonderful time and congratulations once again. So next time we see you, be well and truly, you'll be MBE'd.
Yes, I will be MBE'd. Would you like to see it? Would you like me to bring it on?
Yes, definitely. Of course we would. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you very much indeed. Let's just put your card up on the screen again so people can find out how to get in touch with you when they want to get in touch with you to get that sort of help. Tig James, MBE and partners. There it is. tjpartnership at gmx.com and 928-239-546 if you're listening on the podcast for those details, helping immigrants in Portugal. Thank you very much. Do you have a last word for us this morning, Tig?
Força with Ima.
Força! Vamos embora to Ima. Okay, cheers, Tig. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Have a lovely time in London.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need